Hey guys, it's me, Freddy Pop Collector, and as I'm sure we all know, one of the main reasons FNAF is so popular is because of its mysterious lore. An ongoing story that's over 10 games deep and like, what, 17,000 books long? Because there's so much and so little information to go off of, making a timeline is pretty much impossible. So us, the community, have taken it upon ourselves to make theories to explain certain things in the games that are pretty hard to explain. Because there's so many theories out there, today I thought I would go over some interesting possible Five Nights at Freddy's theories. Although this is a pretty big and broad topic, so joining me today is John from the FNAF channel.
Hey everyone, my name is John and I run the FNAF channel on YouTube. It's actually spelled FUHNAFF, not FNAF. Get it? No? Okay. Anyways, I'm here collaborating with Freddy Pop Collector to talk about some interesting possible FNAF theories. So let's just get into it. Actually, before I start, make sure you're subscribed to Freddy Pop Collector because he posts great videos on FNAF. I watched him before I even started my channel and I still watch him today, so make sure you do that with the post notifications on so you know right when he uploads a brand new video. Okay, now let's get started. Okay, the first theory I'm talking about is that Mangle's extra head was supposed to be a parrot. So I actually never heard of this theory until now, and it honestly makes a lot of sense right off the bat. Of course, Mangle can't have two heads, so the other one has to belong to something, right? But upon further inspection, you start to realize the theory's flaws. The endoskeleton head attached to Mangle is about the same size as the one already attached to Mangle's head, so that would be a gigantic parrot. Also, it could be possible that the head could have came from a different animatronic. Mangle is an animatronic that kids can tear apart and put back together, so maybe they threw another head on Mangle on accident? I'm honestly leaning more towards that theory. I think when Scott designed Mangle 5 years ago, he didn't fully think about the lore implications of it. He probably just thought it looked cool to give Mangle multiple heads. Little did he know we'd still be talking about it 5 years later.
This next theory is actually one of the newest theories I've heard of, and that's the theory that the phantom animatronics from FNAF 3 aren't hallucinations. This one's a pretty complicated one, so please bear with me. As we all know who've read The Fourth Closet, in that book, William takes the remnants of the original 4 animatronics and puts them inside the new Funtime animatronics. If this happened in the games as well, we can assume that Molten Freddy has parts of the spirits of the original 4 animatronics, so if part of the spirits are inside Molten Freddy, the other half probably is the phantom animatronics from FNAF 3. This theory also indirectly confirms which ending actually happens in FNAF 3. It's the bad ending because the spirits haven't been put to rest yet. Even though it fits in really well to the story, there's a lot of holes here. Let's get the obvious out of the way first. Phantom Bonnie. If these really were spirits and not hallucinations, you'd think Bonnie would be here. And also, why are BB and Mangle here? Out of all the toy animatronics, Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, and Toy Chica, why would only some of them show up and not all of them? Even if we assume that Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, and Toy Chica weren't possessed, just corrupted, why is the puppet here? The puppet is alive and well and inside Lefty at this point for all we know. It's an interesting theory, definitely not impossible, but it really can't be proven either way.
So this next theory is that Ballora is Mrs. Afton. This is a tough one. We don't have much information on Miss Afton, but I definitely do see the theory. The best piece of evidence we have of this being true is actually hidden in the lyrics of the song Ballora sings. She sings, "Why do you hide inside your walls when there is music in my halls? All I see is an empty room, no more joy, an empty tomb." So the line, "Why do you hide inside your walls," could refer to William shutting himself out from the rest of the world after Elizabeth gets killed by Baby. And the empty room Ballora refers to could be Elizabeth's bedroom after she died. That also might be why she refers to Elizabeth's room as her tomb. As far as Ballora actually being Mrs. Afton, I'm not sure because there's just not enough evidence, but I do think it's possible that William could have created Ballora as a sort of commemoration of Mrs. Afton after she's gone. Now, on to the next theory.
This next theory is about one of the most obscure characters in the entire franchise, that being Yendo from Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location. I know there's at least one person watching this video thinking Yendo isn't canon, Sister Location Custom Night isn't canon, there's no way he has a theory about him, he's not even canon to the lore, and to that I say, you're wrong. While it is true the only time Yendo is a threat in the FNAF franchise is in Sister Location Custom Night, but he actually appears as an Easter egg in the actual Sister Location game. When you're making your way through the Funtime Auditorium in Sister Location, on very rare occasions when you flash the beacon, you can see Yendo standing there for a split second. So if Yendo is canon, what is he supposed to be, and why doesn't he have a suit like the other animatronics? Well, according to this theory, Yendo is a prototype endoskeleton for some sort of Funtime Fredbear animatronic. Evidence to support this theory theory is scarce, but what people always point to when supporting this theory is Yendo's odd eye color. Scott is very precise and consistent when it comes to eye color in the FNAF franchise, so why are Yendo's eyes yellow out of all colors? That, along with Yendo's name origins, yellow-eyed Yendo, a lot of people think Yendo was some sort of Funtime Fredbear animatronic at one point, and at the time of recording this video, we can't prove it otherwise.
So the next theory is that Mangle is Susie's dog. This is actually one of my favorite FNAF theories. A lot of people have a lot of strong feelings about this, so please know that this is just my opinion. I'm not saying that any of this is fact. But when it comes to this theory, I do believe that Mangle is Susie's dog. Similar to MatPat's theory, I believe that William killed Susie's real dog in order to experiment with Remnant. I believe William took the dog's remnant and used it to possess the Mangle animatronic. We know this because of the Fruity Maze minigame from FNAF 6. As we all know, the more you play the game, the crazier it gets, and eventually you start seeing Susie's dog torn apart and bleeding all over the maze. If you zoom in on the dead dog, you'll notice it has one missing eye, just like Mangle. That's a design detail that Scott definitely knew about. In Daco's interview with Scott, he mentioned that FNAF 6 was a game that he made to wrap up the lore. So for a game that was meant to solve lore, I don't think Scott would take any chances with small details like that. Also, some further evidence of this is the fact that Mangle is the only animatronic that creates a radio frequency sound, different from any other animatronic in FNAF history. Mangle never actually speaks, so that leads me to believe that that one detail is what makes Mangle possessed by Susie's dog.
Next up is the theory that Michael Afton is the protagonist of FNAF 1, 2, and 3. It's pretty much all but confirmed that he's the protagonist of Sister Location and Pizzeria Simulator, but what evidence do we have to support that he's the protagonist of FNAF 1, 2, and 3? Well, let's get the obvious out of the way first. In FNAF 1, when you get your paycheck, the protagonist's name is Mike Schmidt. It could either A, be Mrs. Afton's last name, or B, it could be just some sort of disguise name. But let's look at the reasoning for why he was fired in FNAF 1 and 2. Odor?
You serious?
What at first seemed just like a funny joke is actually one of the biggest supporting pieces of evidence in this theory. After Michael Afton gets scooped, he's decaying and probably very, very stinky. That's pretty much all we have for evidence, but it's such a crucial detail, and if it's not about Michael Afton, you have to wonder, why did Scott put this here?
Now, onto the final theory. Okay, so my next theory is a big one, and it's that FNAF 4 isn't a nightmare. So let's start with some evidence for why this might be true. In FNAF 4, if it was all just a nightmare, why would Scott name the last night Nightmare? If they were all nightmares, Scott wouldn't need to specify one night as a nightmare. Also, people suggest that Scott wouldn't make it so obvious by naming the animatronics Nightmare animatronics because there would be no more mystery to the game anymore. But I actually disagree. I do believe that FNAF 4 is a nightmare, and I also am one of the people who believe most of the FNAF games are just a dream, but we don't need to fully dive into that right now. Some evidence to back this up is the design of Nightmare Fredbear. Notice how his stomach resembles a mouth. The crying child sees Fredbear's stomach as a mouth after witnessing Elizabeth get scooped into baby's stomach and killed. Also notice the IV and flowers Easter egg in FNAF 4, which is Scott hinting to us that this is the crying child's dream while recovering from the bite in the hospital. Also, the infamous grandfather clock theory that MatPat created backs up this theory. If we were actually in that room being hunted by the nightmare animatronics, the grandfather clock would have woken us up, not the digital alarm clock you would find in hospitals. Anyways, I know that's a deep-rooted theory, but I thought I'd give my 2 cents on it. Anyways, that's all the theories I'll be covering in this video. Thank you so much to Freddy Pop Collector for having me on his channel. Make sure to subscribe to him for some high-quality FNAF videos. He seriously is a great FNAF YouTuber, guys. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone!
Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to John's channel, I'll leave a link in the description. He's only about 19k away, which at first seems like a lot, but his channel's been growing really fast, so please go give him some support. But with all that being said, that's all I have for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you're new. Leave a like if you want a part 2. I'm thinking about doing one, but I don't know yet. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.